Moving on now, is Delhi's Indira Gandhi International Airport a sitting duck for terror attacks? Just yesterday, our headlines today, special investigation proved it so. The CISF and the National Security Guard, along with several other agencies, are in charge of security at the airport, but there is a chink in the security agency's armor that they haven't been able to detect. Pankaj Upadhyay explains why the Aero City poses a threat.
It's just a stone's throw away from the Delhi Indira Gandhi International Airport. With a clear view of runways where aircraft take off and land every few minutes. But the Aero City, as we discovered, is one big security nightmare. And this is why Headlines Today gained easy access to the rooftops of the hotels under construction at Aero City.
We are just half a kilometer away from the runway of the Indira Gandhi International Airport, sitting in one of the hotels under construction building of the Aero City. We will try and get you the first-hand account of how secure, how safe this place really is.
What we saw was a very exposed Delhi airport with the runway vulnerable to a terror attack from the Aero City. Hangars within striking distance from Aero City buildings. More than 50 aircraft which could be targeted at any time. Even military choppers exposed to someone standing on hotel rooftops.
Now, we are sitting on the rooftop of another under construction building of Aero City. Hilarious as it may sound, from this very place, the runway of the Indira Gandhi International Airport is not more than 300 meters. You don't believe me? Well, have a look at the visuals yourself. My camera person Abhay Kumar will show you. Now, have a look at the runway, have a look at the hangar. From this point, I can see at least 60 to 70 small and big aircrafts, including the military aircrafts and choppers.
Interestingly, the 12 luxury hotels coming up in Aero City have been given security clearance with some big riders. Rooftops, considered the biggest threat, were to have limited access, with biometric systems in place to avoid unwanted visitors. Sophisticated security gadgets including sensors and bulletproof heavy glasses for all windows were also part of the security clearance.
Being in the proximity of airport, not only they can become the platform for any kind of terrorist action. They are also susceptible to attack in some of the other form of terrorist action.
For more than 60 minutes, we were at the rooftop of two under construction buildings here in the Aero City, near the IGI International Airport. No security guard stopped us. One wonders how and on what basis has the government given a go-ahead and clearance for these chain of five-star hotels to come up when they do not even meet the basic riders that was set up. From the passenger point of view, definitely this might be a good news that they are getting a chain of hotels near the runway. But then from the safety point of view, this is a scary scenario. With camera person Abhay Kumar, this is Pankaj Upadhyay in New Delhi, reporting for Headlines Today.
And Headlines Today, in fact, decided that 24 hours after the big expose on the security chinks at the IGI airport, we continued with our investigation. This time, we bring you a report from another under construction building at Aero City. Our correspondent, Pankaj Upadhyay, who's sitting with us here in the news studio, he crosses a security post, which, believe it or not, has no guard, no security check in place. He makes his way to the terrace, as you can see on this video presentation that we are in fact getting you on Headlines Today. He reaches the terrace of the building, which continues to be a huge terror threat to the IGI airport. Our reporter this time is about 400 meters away from the hangar. Our two investigative reports exposes how you, the passenger, is nothing but a sitting duck.
24 hours after we exposed the security lapses in Aero City, we are here yet again on one of the rooftops of under construction building. But sad enough to say, despite our expose, there has been no change. My camera person Abhay Kumar will again show you how deadly the scenario really is. Just around 300 to 400 meters from this very place, we have this huge plane of Indian Air Force. In fact, this is the hangar area where there are around 6 to 7 big aircrafts at the hangar. And just behind the hangar area, we have the runway of the IGI International Airports, where from flights are taking off or landing every second minute. But this is a disturbing scenario. On the other side, a plane is taking off. Security agency should have risen to the occasion and brought about immediate changes. But unfortunately, in spite of the fact that numerous alerts have been sound, in spite of the fact that we have exposed these lapses, there has been no change. With camera person Abhay Kumar, this is Pankaj Upadhyay in New Delhi for Headlines Today.
All right, Mr. RSN Singh, former RNAW officer as well as a security analyst, joins us in the studio, and Pankaj Upadhyay, who actually got us this report. Pankaj, it's completely shocking, isn't it? 24 hours back, you were in the same area. 24 hours later, you go to the same place again, and then obviously no checks.
More interesting, the fact remains, our sources in BCAS, that is the Bureau of Civil Aviation Security, tell us that they have got general alerts that some sort of a disruption would be caused at the runway, at the airport by the terrorists, considering elections are just around the corner. Politicians would be targeted. Now, this is a specific information that has been received. In spite of all this, this is the state of security at the Aero City. Now, there are no CCTV cameras around. You would expect at least CCTV cameras to monitor the movement. ID card entry was made compulsory. Now, yesterday I reached the rooftop of around 2 buildings. Today, 1 more. No one is asking me. There's no chowkidar, there's no gatekeeper, there's no Delhi police personnel around. Simple, uninterested attitude of the Delhi police. The entry and the exit gates are unmanned. You'd be surprised, Sanket. The one and only check post that should be manned by the Delhi police is vacant and deserted.
My goodness. Mr. Singh, you actually saw this report that Pankaj Upadhyay actually filed. Now, I would just like to quote what the Aviation Minister, Mr. Ajit Singh, said in Lok Sabha on 24th August 2012. He said, and I quote, "The BCAS committee has recommended several mitigation measures for improving the security, and the same have been taken care of. The Aero City project falls well outside the operational area of the airport." Do you think that this is dismissive of the Civil Aviation Minister, or he's just ignorant to the concern? I mean, it's 300 meters away from the runway.
See, there are two issues to the whole report that he has made. I totally agree with him that when the entire project is under construction, I mean, this is not the standard of vigilance. That is, there is absolutely no vigilance, so as to say. That is what he has revealed, and especially as per the threat, that perception of the Intelligence Bureau, and use of rocket launchers have been time and again been reported by the IB for terrorist attacks on the airport. But to say that this entire Aero City, once it is once it comes up, all over the world, I think.
No, Mr. Singh, I would just like to stop you short. The problem is not with the Aero City. Pankaj, correct me if I'm wrong. The problem is not with the Aero City, because once it is operational, the security apparatus will come.
Yeah. So he is absolutely
right now,
absolutely. And let me also tell you. Let me add this to you. See, if you see this phenomenon of terrorism, the course that it has taken after 26/11, you will find that terrorism is being caused to India to alter the political and the geopolitical course. The geopolitical course, I would say that please don't. I for one am convinced that whatever happened in the Navy is a sabotage, because nothing happened in the mid seas. They recently had an exercise Torex, where about 70-80 vessels participated, not one mishap, not one accident. But Once they come to the shore, all accidents start taking place. Then you start attributing, age-related problems. Then you have you have an explosion on a destroyer. What I am saying is that if this is the terror discourse that is developing, your airport is very much. I mean, you should be very, very concerned about the bigger security of the airport. And he has covered the western end of the airport, or the eastern end of the airport. I live bang on the western end of the airport. And let me tell you, things are even worse.
Okay. So it's a scary scenario that you're talking about, Mr. Arisan Singh and Pankaj. Thank you very much for speaking to us. Let's see what sort of concern this actually leads to as far as the administration is concerned. But for you, the viewer, what we actually want to say here is that terror, it seems, is just 300 meters away from you. Thank you very much for watching this special presentation on the Newsnight.